Eric's late again?
Come on, he keeps doing this.
Last time it was 66 days.
Oh, okay, no, it's not 66 days. It's whatever seconds. Ramen.
Looks like rice.
It's rice. Riceman.
Okay, well, welcome back to another Off Topic, guys. Today we are doing a sequel episode, kinda, well, a series.
This is a Bob Ross sequel.
Nope, it is a random facts sequel. We found some of the weirdest, most craziest, most awe-dropping, awe-inspiring facts on the internet.
Basic. It's me. I'm the honest fact here.
You're right.
Anyways,
Let's get started. You guys ready?
ready. Olfactory.
Let's go.
My lappity toppity.
Toppity tappity. Alright. Eric, what you got for us with your first fact?
I got Mary had a little lamb.
Mary had a little,
What, did she have a little lamb?
little,
Yeah, lamb little, she has one little.
little lamb.
The childhood nursery rhyme familiar to all tells the story of a real lamb. It really did follow her to school one day around 1816. Mary was Mary Sawyer, born in 1806, and she remembered her lamb all her life. The story, as published in the book Mary Had a Little Lamb, started out on a cold, bleak March morning in Sterling, Mass.
Like Mary Had a Little Lamb, the nursery rhyme, is a legit real thing.
Yes.
Let's move on
Thank
to
you.
the next thing.
Tiberius Claudius Germanius, age 64 and the third emperor of Rome, presents to you,
Quote.
I have severe stomach cramps. I think my wife is poisoning me, but no one believes me. I need your help. It is said that he has Tourette's. He was an embarrassment to everyone because of his mental illness, and he became like royalty, but still was an embarrassment.
And basically, his family was trying to rid the part of the family that he was in, Claudius, and so they were killing a lot of them. But because of this mental illness, they didn't think he was much of a threat. And so what they did is they just ignored him. And in the meantime of going through all these politics and everything, he ended up surviving all the killings, and he became king. He did die because of his wife poisoned him. One of the greatest emperors, at least considered one of the greatest emperors. So basically, in the end, his mental illness was a positive for him. And
not a royal pain in the butt.
Not a royal pain in the butt. Up next, we're talking alarm clocks, but we're talking people alarm clocks. So you hate getting up in the morning, right? But you have to, because we got school, we got work, we got a ton of different responsibilities. So how do we get up? We use our phones. How did we get up before that? We used alarm clocks. How did we get up before alarm clocks?
Mom and Dad came in with threats.
Cold water!
While I'm sure that was probably true, there were also other alternatives for those who wanted to get to work on time. During the Industrial Revolution, there were people who had a job of being knocker-ups or knocker-uppers. So basically what they did is they got hammers or poles or some sort of thing to knock on a door and wake people up. Now, that was toward the beginning of the knocker-upper job, because basically what that did was it caused other neighbors to wake up, and so they were getting annoyed from all this kind of crap. And so because of that, they started to shift their tactics toward using long bamboo poles. And they would just knock on the window, because most people lived in the second or third or fourth floor of the building that they lived in. Even some women, like Mary Smith, preferred using a pea shooter to shoot peas at people in the morning to wake them up. Now, these people hired these knocker-uppers to wake them up for their job, but they were so hated that often people would get water and dump the water on them, like cold water in the morning. This job literally sucked. But the real question behind it all is, who woke up the knocker-upper?
A knocker-upper.
Yes, obviously another knocker-upper. But who woke up that knocker-upper? Well, another knocker-upper. So the knocker-upper was woken up by a knocker-upper who woke up by another knocker-upper, and so on, as the joke goes. Anyways, watch out, folks, and
Careful of the pea shooter. Make sure you're not a zombie.
Pope Gregory was born 1145 and lived to 1241. Must have had some sort of bias or prejudice against cats. During that time, he decided that they were sacrilegious and from the devil. Cats are literally the worst. His basically decree to get rid of cats because they were evil and from the devil is what many people believe to be the cause behind the superstition of black cats being a bad omen. And his basically movement to be a cat exterminator is what caused so many cats to die during that time and the population of them to go down that it might have even caused the Black Death.
It wouldn't have caused the
That-
Black Death, it would
yeah.
have just made it easier for it to spread.
Exactly. It would have made the Black Death easier to spread. That's not 100%, that's just speculation, so
Talk about a cataclysm
yes.
and a catastrophe.
Having a hairball over there, huh?
Anyway, the whole process, the whole thing was quite the catastrophe, and sadly, this is what Pope Gregory is best known for. So,
Bringing Europe into one big glitter box.
yes, bringing Europe into one big glitter box.
That's pretty good.
The troubled history of forks. Yeah, as it turns out, forks not only didn't used to have the three-prong hand, but just two prongs. As it turns out, ancient forks were just two-prong instruments. They were considered sacrilegious as like an unnatural extension for your hand, which, I mean, it is a extension for your hand. We didn't come with, obviously, with forks, so. But people in medieval times are kind of having a difficult time adjusting to using a fork to eat their dinner. It goes into detail about how old etiquette folks once advised people not to eat soup with a fork.
Wait, what?
Etiquette folks once advised people not to eat soup with a fork. Which is something that we still have to remind people of today. Neither of you two eat spoons with a fork, right?
Eat spoons with a fork?
It's good.
I make spoons out of
Sorry.
a hammer and make a spoon into a spoon.
Forks were considered sacrilegious by the church at this time because they had argued that God created humans with fingers so they could like pick up and eat God's food.
So, two things to remember, folks. Don't get cats and don't have forks. It's easy.
But yeah.
And don't eat cats with forks.
Our next fact comes from
Next.
Quartz.com about something that is actually in a British History Museum. It is the world's first customer complaint
What?
at about 4,000 years old. So, and apparently poor customer service dates all the way back to Babylon because this Babylonian era tablet is from a man named Nani to
Nani?
Nani?
Nasir. I'm not really sure how to pronounce most of this stuff, but he wrote to this man complaining that the wrong grade of copper had been delivered, and
That's ridiculous.
about some misdirection in the delivery and about a delay with said delivery. It's recently been making the rounds on Reddit, for the lulz, because apparently that Karen archetype is as old as time.
This dude, whoever sold the copper,
Are you
is
serious?
eternally going to be in
He was
doghouse.
frustrated enough to carve a tablet, stone tablet, with a lengthy complaint. Do you know how much effort it would take
Man, he
to
should
make
really invest.
somebody known like you were frustrated? I mean,
Why not just go to the
I bet
guy?
he felt super good about it because he was able to beat all the frustration out with a chisel. Beating all of those angry four-letter words into a stone tablet.
Gotta chisel it out.
So if you're frustrated, get into marble sculpture. You should fit in just fine. Just
Just
fine.
get stoned.
All right. So our last fact of the day. We're gonna move on. Last fact. This is about a guy named Mithridates. He was a prince of the Persian and Greek ancestry. He's claimed to be descended from Cyrus the Great. The thing is that he wasn't all that with it. He was very paranoid and convinced that somebody close to him is going to poison him. So what this guy does, and he's an absolute bad lad, okay? He exposes himself to poison little by little to gain immunity, kind of like Wesley did in The Princess Bride. So this guy gets immune to the poison that his culture's familiar with, right? He accomplishes that. He winds up getting captured by a political opponent, and he actually finds himself in a position where he wants to take himself out of the equation. And he can't do that because he's immune to his poison. Very first bad luck Brian, everybody.
Anyways, those are some wacky facts. Everything from cats to forks to knockers.
Rephrase that.
My bad. All over across the board, we had some weird, crazy stuff. And that's only scratching the surface. So, if you want to see this again, if you want to see us crazy wackadoodle dandies getting off and just going at history, well, you can subscribe, you can like, and you can comment down below for future videos to keep us going, keep us rolling, keep that stone wheel rolling, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Hit us up, Eric.
Hobnob.
Hobnob.
Hobnob, I guess.